Blanca is with us, or Blanca in Rockford, Illinois. How are you?
Good. How are you guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
So my question is, I just recently started baby step number 2, and I currently live with my parents, but the house that we live in, I actually own the mortgage on it. It's under my name, and I'm just wondering, I've been thinking about getting my own place, just a rental, but I'm not sure with me trying to pay off debt, it's better if I just stay here. I am helping out with half of the mortgage currently. Obviously, if I left, they would take care of it from there, but
well, I mean,
not sure what to do.
To start with, I need a little bit of clarification. Actually, they live with you.
I guess so, yes.
You don't live with
them.
them.
Home
it's your house.
for them, though, when I bought it a few
I'm sorry?
years ago.
Say again?
When I purchased the home, I intentionally purchased it for them.
To give just as a gift? Because were they in trouble?
Well,
what was the thought behind it?
So their credit isn't the best, so they couldn't go off and, purchase a home under their name. So I went ahead and did that for them.
Mm-hmm.
What's their situation now? How are they? Are they making an income? Are they stable?
Yeah, I mean they're making an income. They've never been the best with money, but they'd be fine if I was to leave. They could take care of payments and stuff.
Yeah, basically, though, you have a rental house your parents are renting for the payment if you move out. It's
Okay.
not their house.
Yeah, technically, you're right.
No, not tech. I mean, there's no technical. I mean,
Yeah.
you own the house. If I go down to the courthouse and look it up, it has not got their name anywhere on it. It doesn't have their name on the mortgage. It doesn't have their name on the title. You own the house, and if something happens in the front yard, you're responsible. If someone gets hurt there on the property, you are the one that's liable. If there's no insurance, right?
Okay.
If the payment doesn't get paid, nobody calls your dad.
Right.
They call you. So this is not technical. This is factual.
Okay.
I understand emotionally.
That's what I was going to say.
That
Emotionally,
you
they
have
feel like they own
allocated
it.
this house to them. I get that. But you need to grasp that this is a real impediment. This is a real problem for your future, that you have this rental property with some semi-weak renters in it.
Okay.
That's bothering me. I love that you love your mom and dad like this, and that's all cool. But we've got to really say, hey, there's some real risk here for you. How old are you?
I am 28 years old.
And what do you make?
I'm making about $48,000 a year.
And how much other debt do you have other than this home that your parents live in?
I have about $32,000 in debt, mostly student loans.
Okay. And how much progress are you making on that?
I just started baby step number 2, so I've only paid off about like $5,000 so far.
Good. That's more than you've ever done.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. So here's what we need to do. Let's pan back.
Okay.
5 years from today, you'll be 33. Where do you want this situation to be with the house and with the debt 5 years from today?
I mean, for sure, my debt paid off. Eventually, I would like to purchase another home, so I guess I would have to see about the possibility of either transferring that mortgage to them.
Yeah, they would need to be able to, if we give them 5 years and say, you need to get your credit in condition so you can refinance this loan into your name, and I'll deed you the house.
Okay.
Right? There needs to be an end to this that's positive, and the only way that happens is if we create careful steps to get there. So you're about to put mom and dad on a budget and walk with them to make sure they now get good with money so they can get a loan. Because let's pretend you're 38 and you get married and daddy quits paying the bill.
Yeah.
Your new husband's not going to be real thrilled with this bill laying over here associated with your parents.
Yeah.
And so this doesn't, my point is, this doesn't scale well. It doesn't project into the future well. Today it's all okay, right? You're safe, they're safe, everybody's happy, nobody's mad at anybody, we're not trying to rock the boat. But I just want you to think about, okay, long term, and then what are the steps to get to where I want to be long term?
Yeah, and I think having an out of the house, Blanca, is going to be really wise. And I think because it's something as large of a purchase like a home, like we're not talking about a car or anything like that, like it is a home. So giving them a few years out, I think is really smart, because I think you're going to look up eventually, and what was intended to be such a gift and so kind on your end and really trying to help, in turn may not be a great decision for you. And there's a point as an adult that you kind of have to create those boundaries to say, okay, this is my life, and you're not being unkind to your parents by any means, but what is smart for me to do in this moment, so that way you get your stuff cleaned up so that you can help them later if you need to, but you just weren't in a great position to do it in the first place. You didn't know it at the time. And again, out of the kindness and goodness of you, really thought that you were helping. And I think that the smoothest transition out, is that communication and having a timeline for them to take over the mortgage.
It probably sounds like this. Mom and Dad, we're about to have a little meeting here. Love you guys. Did this out of the goodness of my heart. We have to have an end game. We have to have an exit strategy. So I'm going to stay here for 2 more years and continue to help pay part of the bills while I get out of debt. During that time, you're going to get on a real tight budget. We're going to get your credit cleaned up, because we got a 5-year plan for you to refinance, and let's get the house into your name. I want you to have the pride of ownership. I want you to not be living in a house your daughter owns. I want you to be living in a house you own. And that's going to be great for you, and it's going to get it out of my name so that I can move on with the next step of my adult life. And I love you, and we're going to work together to accomplish these things. I'm staying for 2 more years. Nobody's mad at anybody, but we are not going to just kind of wander off into oblivion and pray this all works out, because it ain't. It ain't going to work out. Okay?
And what that does is, I think that puts pressure on
them.
The parents, in a good way, though, for them to get their dignity. This may be a time where you're like, hey, maybe under the surface you've been enabling some bad financial moves on there, and they're able to be maybe a little lazy. You said they're not great with money, and they've kind of had the safety net of you for the past few years with this home. And when you put that pressure on to make them actually behave and get on a budget and get on a plan, and they start to win if they choose those steps and become financially healthy, I mean, for them, like that's helping them, you know, in the long run. Like that's a beautiful story to say.
There's a lot more dignity owning your own place as you go into retirement than living in a place your daughter bought. I mean, there's just dignity to that, and that's a good thing for him, a good thing for her. So I tell you what, hang on, Blanca. We're going to have a Kelly pick up. I'm going to sign all 3 of you up for Ramsey Plus. We're going to walk with you and show you how to do this, okay? We'll put you through Financial Peace University, get you on the Every Dollar budget, get Mom and Dad on that. We're all going to work this plan together. You're going to live there so you can all do it together. It's awesome. And you can, cheer each other on some wins and be able to head towards some positive goals. But there needs to be a catalyst, a little shock that changes the direction of what's been going on here. You've changed your direction. Let's change their direction with it so that it doesn't hold you back, and so they get their dignity of home ownership as they go forward. So let's work together on all that. Hang on, Kelly will pick up. We'll get you signed up for all of that. Good rule of thumb. When you're making a decision like this, where you're helping out somebody, don't look at it in the moment only. Ask yourself, how's this going to be working 10 years from now? Because most of the time, it's not.